My husband and I went to high school together and we established a relationship in school. However, we broke up during our college years because of a long-distance relationship. During this time, he and I both had our own life and relationship experiences. However, we never forgot each other and often left messages to each other on social media. Gradually, we got back in touch with each other. I found that our feelings were still so strong. Before getting back together, we went through a lot of struggles and hesitations. We were worried that if we chose to stay together, we might have the same problems we had before. However, we knew that our feelings for each other were real, so we decided to try again. In the end, we chose to get back together and we value each other more than before. We spend more time and energy on each other, and we communicate more openly, which makes our relationship stronger. A year later, we had entered into marriage. After we got married, we were ready to go on a vacation to Hawaii. We had an unforgettable vacation there, which made us feel very happy. Before we went on vacation, we parked our car at the airport so that it would be easy for us to go home. Due to the weather, the plane was delayed for a long time. When we got off the plane, it was already evening. However, on the way home we were involved in a serious car accident. Due to fatigue driving, our car hit a car in the opposite lane. I heard a loud bang. I suffered head and leg injuries. I saw my husband stuck in his seat, his face distorted and obviously seriously injured as well. The moment the crash happened, I felt like the whole world had suddenly slowed down. It was as if I had stepped out of my body. I felt like I was an observer. I saw smoke begin to billow from the car, and I looked at my body and felt like I was no longer breathing. I saw that my husband was also not moving, and it seemed like he had stopped breathing as well. I didn't see his soul around either. I began to have a nervous feeling. I thought of my family. I was about to leave this world. But I hadn't said goodbye to them yet. I didn't know where I would go, and I didn't know what would happen to my husband. I felt like my existence had become so fragile that it seemed like a gust of wind could blow me away. I began to shout, hoping that someone would hear me. However, there was no response to my voice. I felt like I was trapped in a dark space. In my experience, there was no tunnel. This struck me as very strange, because I had read some similar stories. While I was waiting for the tunnel, time seemed to become unusually slow. I thought I might be dead, but instead of feeling scared, I felt very safe and calm. Suddenly, I entered a place of complete darkness. I looked around curiously, trying to figure out where I was. In the darkness, I saw an image of myself. It was like a movie being shown. Every moment of my life was being recorded. Every moment was so real that I felt like I was back in that time again. I saw my childhood and adolescence. I saw those moments of happiness and pain. I saw the people and things that hurt me. It was all presented to me in a unique way, allowing me to experience my life all over again. Not only did I see images of myself, but I could also feel the emotions of others. When the people around me feel happy, I am happy too. When they feel sad, I also feel sad. I feel that I have become more sensitive to my emotions, and am able to go deeper into the inner world of those around me. I feel like I'm playing a giant game where everyone has a point account. Anything I do adds or deducts those points. I realize that every decision I make has an impact on my future. When I help others, my points increase. When I cause harm to others, my points are deducted, which makes me feel very guilty and upset. I realized that this points account could be the key to heaven, Or it could be the key that determines what kind of life we can live in heaven. Suddenly, I felt a powerful force. It was leading me to a light in the distance. This light radiated an unbelievable warmth and made me feel a happiness and peace that I had never felt before. In life, I am a detail-oriented person. I like to explore the nature and workings of things, so I was especially curious about how this place worked. I felt a mysterious power here. As I got closer to the light, I began to feel a strong sense of love. All my worries and anxieties disappeared in this moment. Eventually, I came to the edge of the luminous body. It was shaped like a cone and consisted of countless points of light. These points of light shone with various colors, making me feel overwhelmingly sacred and solemn. When I tried to enter the light, I found a force blocking me. I tried several times and failed. I began to reflect on myself and wondered what the cause was. I found out that it was the resentment within me that was stopping me. I had deep resentment towards certain people, and these negative emotions were becoming a barrier to my entry into the world of light. I realized that I had to let go of these negative thoughts. I tried to focus my attention and feel my heart with all my heart. I began to choose to forgive those who had hurt me, dropping all resentment and anger. The feeling was amazing, and at the same time I felt a sense of freedom and relief. I then entered that light, and this intense feeling of happiness was too much for me to resist. After entering the light, I felt a powerful force. I felt a feeling of unconditional love and acceptance that was incredible. It made me feel so happy and fulfilled. I felt completely safe and relaxed in this loving environment, and I was able to let go of all my worries and anxieties. I feel like I am becoming a part of a love that is spreading to my whole soul. I felt reborn here, and I felt myself becoming more authentic and free. This feeling is like nothing I have ever experienced before, and I am feeling life in a whole new way. As I approached the center of the light, a beautiful scene came to me. The sight of heaven blew me away. It was more beautiful than any beautiful scene I had ever imagined. Flowers glowed with beautiful colors in the light. A softness filled the scene and made me feel incredibly calm and comfortable. In the center of the paradise, I saw a huge building. Surrounding it was a peaceful lake. Around the lake, there were many people enjoying the beauty of paradise. They were all glowing with light, and everyone was very happy and content. I saw some people taking a walk. I felt completely absorbed in this wonderful scene. I saw myself start to glow too, and people around me were smiling and nodding at me. Their welcome made me feel very warm. This is really a place full of love and peace, and I wish I could stay here all the time and enjoy this wonderful feeling. Suddenly, I felt something float by me. I looked back and saw a beautiful angel. She had shiny wings and a kind face. She looked very friendly, so I walked toward her and tried to talk to her. She told me that her job was to help people who were new to this place, to get them to adjust to life here faster. The angel invited me to follow her and visit some of the places in heaven with her. We passed by a square, and then we came to a beautiful garden. There, I met many loved ones and friends who had passed away and were enjoying the good life in heaven. Finally, the angel told me that she needed to get back to work. I said to the angel, thank you for bringing me here." The angel smiled and replied, "I'm glad I could bring you here. But your time is not up yet. Now is the time to go back." "I understand. Thank you for the reminder that it's time for me to go back," I told the angel. The angel smiled at me and said, "I will walk you to the exit." On the way, I said to the angel, "I don't really want to go back, it's too nice here." The angel replied patiently, "You still have a lot of missions and goals to accomplish in your life. You will always be welcome here, but for now, you need to go back." I nodded my head. I went back into the darkness. I suddenly saw my husband appear in front of me, and we embraced each other excitedly. I said, "Honey, let's go home." My husband was silent for a moment. He told me, "Honey, I can't go back. My time is over." I was so shocked, I didn't expect this to happen at all. I grabbed his hand tightly and said with tears in my eyes, "We should be together forever. I would be so lonely without you." He hugged me tenderly and said, "You will not be alone. The angels and I will always be with you to help you through the hard times. I will always pray for you in the light and wait for you to come back here. You still have a long way to go, and you have to keep living until you finish all your tasks." I don't know what to say, I feel so sad and alone. But I also knew that my husband didn't want that either. Despite the loss and sadness that filled my heart, I let go of his hand. He slowly flew away from me and eventually disappeared into the light. I knew that one day I would see him again. Suddenly, I felt a slight dizziness and I found myself back at the scene of the crash. I felt the connection between my soul and my body. Then, I began to try to reconnect with my body. I felt a strong shock and I was back in my body. I opened my eyes and saw my husband, and I knew he was gone. Soon after, I was admitted to the hospital. My entire body was broken in multiple places. Although I was sad to see my husband go, I also knew he was happy in that place. I spent a long recovery in the hospital. I will often miss my husband. I am sure that we will meet again in the near future. I thank God for giving me this unforgettable experience, which gave me a deeper understanding of the meaning of life. I began to cherish every day of my life more. Because I know that this is the only way to live a more fulfilling and exciting life. I also began to pay more attention to my physical health. I would exercise and eat healthily, which made me feel more energetic. I value more those who supported me and whose love and concern helped me get through this difficult time. I am grateful that this experience has helped me learn more about myself and has made me strong and confident. I believe I can face the challenges and difficulties ahead.